Speaking to the incinerator concept, I was living atop Signal Mountain, just outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I was part of a recycling program that in some ways was like Bella Vista, which is part of why I have such an affinity for that program. We had a volunteer corps of about 100 people. There were 70 people that worked at the drop-off center. We had another 30 volunteers who were going into classrooms every month. Recycle Signal was different from most recycling programs in that it was driven by education rather than the operations piece. Usually your operations is what's in charge, and education might get thrown in here or there. Well, the educators were in charge of this recycling program, and the operators worked under us. And it worked pretty well. We had 30 volunteers going back to the same 1st through 5th grade classrooms every month for 5 years, so we reached these 1,000 children every month. The mission wasn't just recycling, it was about launching citizens onto a lifetime journey of environmental stewardship. Today we call that sustainability. And it was common to hear people say that their lives were changed as a result of being a part of that program because the education was so deep, because it was continuous. Recycle Signal is defunct today. There are great lessons to learn from its demise as well as from its peak performance. During its heyday, Signal Mountain, a community of 8,000 people with twice-a-week garbage collection, at your back door if you asked, was recycling 75 to 100 tons a month with a single drop-off center. And you can learn more about that from my website if you're interested, because it was really a fun program. Anyway, while I was up on the mountain working on this citizen-based recycling program, Ron Giles was in Nashville, so I'll let you take it from there.
I was amazed when I moved to Madison County and heard that Louise Mann was in this region. I hadn't seen her in 20 years or so. I'm going to tell you the story, which a local magazine titled back in the late 80s in the Nashville region. The story that the title that they used was Money, Trash, and Politics in Music City. And echoed many things that Fran just talked about. In those days, Nashville was running out of landfill space. That was a metro government there, city-county government, which I like a lot. Where you have a city that dominates a county, it's a lot better when you can plan for the whole county. But our existing landfill was nearing completion, was nearing being full. The city announced 29 sites as possible sites around the county, which of course was guaranteed to rile up everybody.
Excuse me, Ron, do y'all know the term, Heather, your generation, NIMBY?
Not in my backyard.
And that's really what Fran was describing, is the NIMBY syndrome.
So 29 prospective landfill sites generated plenty of NIMBY response. That caused several things, this big hubbub over finding a landfill. One is that I and several other people founded Recycle Nashville, a citizens group to push for recycling. I was living in Nashville at the time in the bottled water industry. But I jumped into the recycling movement. It was pretty amazing because of all the publicity about the landfill probably, but also people's concern. Within